I'm back. Welcome to another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for clicking on the video. Today I am going to be talking about which training split is the best one to build muscle. Haven't been on here for a while, I'm not going to lie, but the reason is it's complicated. So, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified of future videos. And if you enjoyed the video, which I'm sure you will, give it a thumbs up. Let's get into it. So before setting up a training split, there's a few things to consider first. One of them is the time you have available to exercise during the week. Now, if you lead a very busy, hectic life, which a lot of people do, work long hours, busy schedules, might have a stressful life at home, who knows, but minimum I would recommend 3 days a week. Then if we look at injuries, if a client has any injuries, you might want to do certain exercises to work around those injuries. Then training experience, so if you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, how long have you been training for? And not just that, but it's important if you can execute the exercises correctly with proper form. Equipment availability, a lot of people might not have the best equipment in the world in their gym. They might not have barbells to do the big exercises such as bench press, deadlift or squat. That might not be available to them. However, they might have certain machines that might be able to work that muscle group just as effectively. Last but not least, a very important one is exercise execution. I don't want to be giving a client a training program with certain exercises unless they know exactly how to perform it correctly first. So I just want to make a quick point before I go through the beginner split that I've got here. You'll notice that I've got compound lifts. Yes, compound lifts even for a beginner. Now, if you're really not confident or you don't have the greatest core strength in the world, terrible balance, you might not have access to a personal trainer to show you the exercise or a friend to be with you at the time, then you might want to spend, say, an introductory week or two where you're doing full body workouts, minimum 3 times a week, doing machine based work such as leg extension, maybe assisted pull-ups. You could do the flies on the pec machine, those sorts of exercises to build up some strength, activate certain muscles that you haven't targeted before. Then you do want to be moving on to the big compound lifts, because those exercises are going to be easier to track, as in, if you think about, you do 3 sets of 8 at 60 kilos on a bench press, then it's very easy to add weight when you progress in the future. The same sort of thing for the deadlift, for the squat as well. Those types of big exercises, you can track your progress very easily. Okay, so we're starting off with a 3-day split for a complete beginner, starting off with the minimum. Now, I chose full body workout because, again, it's a 3-day split, and a full body workout is going to be very effective for a complete beginner. Because if you're working the full body and you are helping a beginner execute the big barbell movements, it's going to help to strengthen the core, because a complete beginner has got a very weak core, and if they have a weak core, it's going to be quite detrimental for them performing exercises in the future. And also it's going to help them to activate and recruit muscle fibers that they've never activated before. It's going to help with things like posture, with balance, which is very important for a beginner as well. So that is why we want to include the big barbell types of movements first, as long as they can show you, if you're a coach, that they can exercise them correctly first. Now, we have bench press. I've included barbell row, so we're working the chest, working the back, shoulder press, shoulders. We got a squat in there and a leg press as well. So again, these exercises aren't gospel, not all the fitness gurus in the world are saying you have to do these exact exercises, this exact workout if you're a beginner. This is, however, a very good example of a full body workout that a beginner could do 3 days a week. And you could repeat this for a number of days, weeks, months, as long as you are seeing fantastic results, which you will to begin with. If you're a beginner, then you can continue this workout, or whichever workout you are seeing good results from, until your results begin to plateau or slow down slightly. Then you might want to move up to what we call an intermediate level and change your training program slightly. So now we're going to call this training split phase 1. Now, a training phase is usually a block of 4 to 6 weeks where you're doing specific exercises at specific sets, at specific rep ranges to target or focus on a particular goal. So this focus here is going to be to build muscle. Some people might do a training phase to gain strength. So remember, like I said earlier, if this specific split is working for you, then keep on doing it until it stops working, basically. But usually a training phase we would keep at anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks before we start to change things up. So that particular training split that we just went through there, that would be called phase 1, which would typically, like I said, last anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. Then after 4 weeks, we would move on to phase 2, then move on to phase 3, then the last phase, which would last another 4 weeks. That would take us to 16 weeks, which is usually the maximum amount of time you would need to complete a full training program. Now, what changes as we go through each phase is, after you complete a specific training block, you might add more sets to exercises that you did the previous month. You might add more reps on certain lifts, like the big lifts like bench press, squat or deadlift. You might add more weight. That's what's called progressive overload, so you're overloading the amount of weight. Something else which you could change is you could also do more frequency. So if you're only training 3 days a week, you could add another session. So that again would add more volume because you are adding another session to what you had been doing the previous week. So going back to the beginner split that we saw before, I'm just going to give an example of how I might progress a client from one phase to another after, say, 4 to 6 weeks. If they were doing 3 sets of 10 reps in the first phase, then the next phase I might only do something as simple as increasing the sets by 1 for every exercise that they do. Or what we could do is keep the sets the same, and then if we see here, we've got a bench press, which is a horizontal pushing movement, and we've got a barbell bent over row, which is a horizontal pulling movement. I might add 2 more exercises. So I might add a vertical pushing movement as well as the military press. So I might do maybe an Arnold press with dumbbells on the bench, and I might add a vertical pulling movement such as chin-ups or assisted pull-ups. So now it's getting a little bit exciting because we're moving on to the intermediate training split. Now, as we move on to intermediate, it's a must that you are doing at least 2 exercises per muscle group. Now, I've kept the rep range at 10 reps for 3 sets. The reason for that is because there's a lot of data out there that suggests, anywhere between 3 sets per exercise per muscle group, at least 8 to 12 reps is going to be optimal for hypertrophy. So if that's what we're looking for, then I kind of kept the rep range in the mid-range. So the training split itself, this time we're going to go on to 4 days a week. So example, training Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. Sorry, training Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday and Sunday. Now, on the Monday, we're going to be doing an upper day, doing horizontal pushing and pulling movements. So horizontal pushing and pulling movements will be things like, if we were going to do 2 exercises per muscle group, then if we're doing the chest, then you can do a bench press and you could do incline dumbbell press. If you're going to be doing the horizontal pulling movements, then you could do barbell bent over row, and you could do a dumbbell row where you're resting on the bench and working the back that way. Tuesday is going to be a lower day, so this day you're going to be focusing solely on the quads. So you can do anything like squat, leg extension, front squat, which is a bit more intermediate advanced. So by that time maybe you could be doing a front squat with the barbell resting on your shoulders, and it's putting more tension on the front of your legs. Then you're going to rest Wednesday, Thursday, going to come back around and do an upper day, which is going to be a vertical pull push day. So on the Monday it was horizontal. So this time it's going to be things like, again, if we do 2 exercises of each, it could be things like pull-ups, assisted or non-assisted. It could be things like lat pull downs. Then if we were going to do vertical pushing movements, it could be a military press, and it could also be a machine shoulder press as well. Then going to Friday, this time we're going to do the other portion of the legs, which is going to be the hamstrings. So you could do things like deadlift, you could do Romanian deadlift, you could do leg curls, which is assisted. Then we're going to rest Saturday. Sunday, training arms. I'm not sure if I said this was a 4-day split before, but it's actually 5-day. But if you don't have time to do 5 days a week, the one day that I would get rid of in this training split, if you could only train 4 days a week, would be the arms, because the big compound lifts and these movements are gonna help to recruit the muscle fibers in your arms. Anyway, even if it's only slight, you will see better results with these 4 days. So what we just discussed was intermediate phase 1, which, as you should already know, a phase or training phase usually lasts anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. So let's say you've done that for 4 weeks. How to progress from that to then maybe advanced intermediate would then change the upper day to horizontal and vertical push pull. So this time we're going to be doing more exercises, more reps, more sets, because we're going to be doing the horizontal and vertical push pull movements in the first day. Then the lower day, instead of just doing quads, we're going to be doing quads and hamstrings. Then obviously rest Wednesday. Thursday, again, it's another upper day, but this time instead of just doing horizontal or vertical, we're going to be doing both together. Then Friday, again, we're going to be doing quads and hamstrings again. Then resting Saturday, and then Sunday training arms. Right, fasten your seatbelts. Are you ready for this next level shit? Because we're moving on to the advanced training stage. Now, when we move on to being advanced, it's very hard unless you're up for pretty high intensity level workouts or you haven't been training for a long time to achieve optimal results without training at least 5 times a week. Now, I'm going to do a 5-day split here for an advanced trainer. So, horizontal and vertical will be chest and back on the Monday, which is an upper day. Then Tuesday again is going to be legs, which is quads and hamstrings. Rest Wednesday. Thursday again we're going to do horizontal and vertical chest and back. Then again the lower day is going to be quads and hamstrings again. We're going to rest Saturday and Sunday. This time is going to be arms and shoulders. So now you're at an advanced level of training and you've been doing that advanced training split for a while, but you start to see your progression plateau or slow down slightly. The way that you can progress from there, or the ways that you can progress, is if you're doing the 5-day training split, you can add a 6th day, so you can add more training frequency, or you can add more sets to every exercise, you can add more reps, especially on the big movements, again, such as the bench press, squat, or the deadlift. You can add more load, you can add more weight, and you can see if you could do the same amount of reps that you were doing in the previous weeks, but with more load. So that way you can see that you're progressing. But if you are looking for a really advanced training split from there, then the next thing to move on to would be something called the legs push pull split, which is where basically, or typically at the start of the week, you are training legs, then you're having a push day, then a pull day, and at the start of the week when you're doing these 3 training sessions, typically your sets, you're doing very heavy sets with low reps. Then you're going to have a rest day, and then near the end of the week you are going to increase the sets and or maybe the reps as well. So it's a lot more volume at the end of the week than it was at the start of the week, and you're training each muscle group at least twice per week. So it's going to be very taxing, but if you're looking to progress with another training split, it's going to be worth it. Now, when we do the leg day, or every training day in this training split, definitely want to be doing at least 2 to 3 exercises per muscle group. So typically during a legs pull push split, you would normally do heavier sets, lower reps at the start of the week, and then near the end of the week, more higher reps, more high volume, going to be more taxing, and you are going to be training each muscle group at least twice per week. Now, once you get to this training split, there's not much room to move to progress apart from adding reps, adding sets, or adding load to certain exercises. So I'm going to give you an example of how I might progress either myself or a client from month to month on a legs push pull training split. So if this is 1 week, okay, and we're having 1 rest day after every 3 days of legs push pull, during month number 1, at the start of the week, I'll be doing 5 to 6 reps. At the end of the week, 8 to 10 reps. You'll notice I haven't mentioned anything really during the whole video about changing exercises, because it's very hard to track progress if you're always changing your exercise selection. So I try to keep the exercise selection for me or my clients the same, unless every now and again we might need to bring up a body part by adding maybe another exercise or accessory movement. But the majority of the time, exercises are kept the same. That way we can add more weight, we can track progress. Then month number 2, we're gonna again do 5 to 6 reps at the start of every week and 8 to 10 reps at the end of every week for month number 2. But the difference is that we should be able to achieve these rep ranges with more weight than we used during month 1, and we'll be able to know that if we've been tracking how much weight we were using through the whole of month 1, especially for the big exercises. Month number 3, this time we should be able to keep the weight the same, but we're going to be doing 7 to 8 reps at the start of the week, then 9 to 12 reps near the end of the week. Month number 4, again, the rep ranges is going to be the same at the start and the end of the week, but the difference is now we're near the end of the whole training program itself. For the end of each week during month number 4, for every last set of every exercise, on the last set we can do something that's called an AMRAP. So we can do as many reps as possible to really burn that muscle out. Or we can do supersets. So if we're going to be doing 9 to 12 reps on a leg extension for 3 sets, maybe we could do 3 sets of 12 reps on a leg extension and then a superset that with a leg curl for hamstrings. Or we can do a drop set. So on the last set of a leg extension, we could do 12 reps and then drop the weight, 12 reps, drop the weight, 12 reps until the muscle is completely fatigued. That's a wrap. So thanks very much for watching today's video, guys. Don't forget, if you enjoyed it and you found it useful, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, you can get notified of future videos also by clicking the notification bell. See you next time.